Titans Global. Let's go. Started with a vision, two voices in the mix. Max and Link together, building something that'll stick. Every episode we drop, yeah, we're reaching new heights. Titans Global on the map, burning bright every night. From the first recording session to the fans that tune in, we've been grinding every day, yeah, we're destined to win. Titans Global, that's the name, that's the brand, we the fans. Speaking truth through the microphone, messages that we send. Titans Global, that's the movement. Titans Global, feel the power. Titans Global, we keep pushing. Titans Global, this our hour. Titans Global, Max and Link. Titans stronger than you think. Titans Global, that's the way. Titans Global, every single day.
What's up, Titans fans, and welcome to another episode of Titans Global Podcasts. I am your host, Maximus Titan Fan, and with me, as always, is my good buddy Link. What's up, bro?
What's going on, man? Good to be here, guys. Back with another pregame. Got a lot to talk about, but as always, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Definitely get in the comment section. We got, like I said, we got a pregame to talk about. We got trade deadline coming up. We got injury reports. We got a football game. So with that, I guess let's get right into it.
Yeah, normal Titan time, normal Titans channel, Titans versus Chargers. This is pretty much the shindig now. We're 9.5 point, or excuse me, the Chargers are 9.5 point favorites. 43.5 is the over under. I still say bet over, even though we didn't make it last week. I still think that that's a good bet.
Is that because our defense can't stop anybody, or what's
pretty much? Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you, dude. We got, if anything, people talk about NFL team tanking, and I really don't believe that's true. Although, I will say, if there has ever been a case for an NFL team obviously tanking, this is probably one of the best cases I've ever heard of. You get rid of, and Denard Wilson, I'll talk about it a little bit more later, but Denard Wilson called it out saying that, the three starting cornerbacks are all gone. Two traded away and one on injury reserve. So we've got one guy that hasn't even played here that's actually probably going to get some starting time. So it's going to be an interesting backfield, and going against a team in the Chargers who has Justin Herbert, who is known for throwing downfield passes. I think it's going to be a very high scoring game, whether it be a shootout or try to say that with a straight face, whether it be a shootout or just a stomping. Either way, I think it's going to be a challenge, and I think it's going to be over 43.5. So there we go.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're going to get to injuries, but like you said, with the way they push the ball down the field, not a lot of help left in the secondary after the Brownlee trade, the McCurry trade, the Snead injury, something we touched on a lot last show. That's probably the most concerning thing for me. And then lack of edge rusher. I mean, that continues to be a problem. Arden Key back on the injury report. I don't know that there's enough juice in the tank with this defense to stop anybody at this point for the rest of the season. So interesting to see the type of scheme they come out playing in and how Denard Wilson game plans this one, because he just doesn't have a lot of help left. Like, that's one person I just feel so bad for, because at some point he's just got to get up at the podium and be like, look, I don't know what you want me to do. Like, he just throws his hands up and says, this is what I got. So I don't know. Feel like this could get kind of ugly, but we'll see. We'll see what the game plan is and how they approach this.
Yeah, I'll be honest, man. I don't think it hurts his standings that much. Denard Wilson, I think, will get a DC job somewhere else if it's it's not here next year, which it won't be.
Has he done enough in your eyes? Like, I know it all depends on who they bring in as the coach and, whatever, but has he done enough in your eyes through his tenure here to have a case to stay on the staff?
I think him and Fassel are probably the two best bets if you're gonna make a bet on who's gonna stay and who's gonna go. But even with that, I don't know, man. I really don't because some of his defenses look really great, especially early on in the season. But it does seem like he doesn't have a counterpunch. You know what I mean? Like he's good at scheming the game up, but then once they catch on to what he's scheming in the first half, towards the second half, I don't know. He just doesn't seem to have a lot of answers in the second half. Of course, sometimes he has better. I don't know. I'll be honest. Yes, I think he if anybody, him and Fassel, like I said.
Well, and it's so hard to grade because of this roster. Like it makes it so difficult with the injuries and the trades. And I mean, like what weapon? And I mean, even, Jeffrey Simmons being out, like what does he really have left on this defense? And if you go back to like the first 4 or 5 games, we were sitting here saying like the defense with, as bad as it is, they're playing well enough to give the offense a chance to win some of these. And I mean, you can look back at least 2 or 3 games where it's like they probably should have won if the offense could find any type of consistency. So I'm kind of with you. I don't know. I feel like all of the coaching staff, Callahan included, while he was here, we always talked about the lack of adaptability and, like coming out in the second half and fix what was wrong. Like, I just don't, and Denard Wilson's included in that. I just don't know that he's able to adjust the way that you would want a defensive coordinator to do. But I don't know. Depending on the coach, I think he's got at least a chance to stay on this staff. But yeah, I mean, all signs to me point to the fact that he's probably going to be looking elsewhere for employment.
Well, my thing about Denard Wilson is the thing that like you said, it's so hard to actually grade him with a roster like we have, and the reason is because most of his defense, or what I think his defensive scheme is, by watching him for 2 years, is strong defensive front with lots of pressure and a good defensive back end. The guys in the middle don't really matter that much, and I feel like that's how he feels about his defense. And it works when you have pressure.
Yep.
When you don't have pressure, though, it's a struggle.
Yep.
So I think, and honestly, I think the big factor to why he hasn't had as much success as a defensive coordinator is probably mostly boils down to Arden Key. If I'm being real. Arden Key is the biggest disappointment free agency signing we've had in probably 10 years. And I would argue that with just about anybody. Yeah. And I'm not counting Snead because he was technically a trade. But
yeah. Well, you got to Clowney, you got to throw him in the mix.
There's Clowney, there's Brewer, not Brewer, but what Andre Dillard. I'm counting Daly in that. I'm counting a lot of guys that were disappointing, but this dude has been the most disappointing. And not the thing that makes me the most angry about Key, because I love his personality. He's a cool dude. But the thing that makes me the most angry about is he's stealing snaps from people that could get pressure. And we've seen that. With him not being in the last 3 games, Draymond Jones has had 3 sacks in 3 games. He doesn't get those snaps if Arden Key is healthy. Neither would have Jihad Ward, who is now looking like he's injured too. But whatever. The point is that he's stealing snaps from people that would create pressure. And that's my problem with Arden Key.
I was looking back. So he was traded in 23? Is that right? Been here for 2.5
Seems
years?
right. 1 with Vrabel, 2 with Callahan.
Okay, so I was looking up like his 22 stats. I mean, before he came to the Titans, I mean, he was 4.5 sacks, 16 solo tackles, a fumble recovery. So, I mean, he's never been like a big sack guy. I'd be curious to see the breakdown on like the pressure numbers. But yeah, no, I'm with you. I mean, I can't even think of the last time. Like, surely it hadn't been that long, but I can't even think of the last time the Titans were able to generate pressure off the edge. Like maybe going back even before the Landry injury. Like, is that I mean, that's really the last person I can remember who consistently generated pressure and got to the quarterback, and that was pre-injury. Landry, of course, but yeah, I mean, that's something that I definitely think is at the top of the list to be addressed this offseason. I mean, I thought it was at the top of the list to be addressed last offseason, and they spend a second-round pick on Femi, which that's another one that's been kind of hard to grade because of the injury. You felt like he was kind of coming into his own before he was injured. But yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of with you. Like Arden Key has definitely been a disappointment since he got here, and why they continually throw him out on the field, I guess it's just for lack of a better option. But he's showing up on the injury report again this week, so I guess it's more Draymond Jones, like that's kind of Jawad Ward. That's what we're left with. And look, with a trade deadline approaching, like those are two other pieces I'm looking at where that's a possibility that they're not even here come next week. So I don't know. It's got to find a way to fix that pressure department because it's not looking too hot right now.
Yeah, I agree. And you talked about 23, and if you actually look back at his numbers, 23 really wasn't a bad year for him. But then, yeah, he had Harold Landry, who I'm not saying is great, but still, Danico Autry, who is a much better pass rushing defensive tackle than Sweat is. Sweat is much better in run defense, but we're talking about pass rushing. And then you got Key on the other side. So he had a lot of help. He had a lot of people to lean on, when he wasn't performing well. But I think that, wow, I've got off on a big tangent here about Arden Key. And I apologize about that. He does show up on the injury report. We'll try to roll smoothly into that. Him, Blake Hance, Chigakonkwo. This one really blew my mind when I saw this today because he was fine yesterday. Yesterday he was playing fine. Today did not participate because of a foot injury. So I find that pretty interesting. Or, well, I guess he had limited participation Wednesday. He wasn't fine. But still, point is, that's not a good sign for him playing on Sunday.
Titans legend now, by the way. He is officially the last player from the 2022 draft left on this team.
I mean, who the hell said he was a Titans legend? But
I mean, how if you want to see why this team is unsuccessful as they are at this point, like just look at that. I mean, that's kind of insane that you have one player left from a draft 3 years ago. I'm not saying that's the only reason, but the whole draft, develop, retain, like kind of nuts how bad the Titans have been in that department. But, he was asked about it in the locker room, how he's kind of the last man standing. He said he wants to do his job and be a Titan for life. I don't know how realistic that is. I think it's very possible that by the end of the year, maybe going into next year, there are 0 players left from that 2022 draft. So we'll see how that shakes out. But yeah, showing up on the injury report, which I'm, I hate it for him. It sucks, but that's all the more reason to put Gunnar Helm out there for more snaps. And that's one thing I can't be mad about.
That's right, man. I was going to bring that up, but later.
Sorry.
But no. You're fine. You're fine. I go off on crazy tangents to talk about dumb crap. So it's fine, dude. You can. Ridley's also on there, obviously. Simmons, Jihad Ward. This one concerns me because it is for personal reasons. And I don't know what the hell that means. I mean, obviously it means something's going on, so, I don't want to put him out or anything, but damn it, what the hell, man? We need you. We need everybody. Anyway, I guess not. He's not a young guy we're developing. Anyway. And Xavier Woods probably not going to play this week. All those people I mentioned are probably not going to play this week.
Another one I saw pop up was Daryl Baker, which he was a full participant today with that concussion. But, man, like if he has any type of a setback and now you're down another defensive back, like I don't know. Like I've never seen – and we talked about this before the season. Like if one of these pieces go down in the defensive backfield, like it's just a snowball effect. And then you see that with Snead, which was, I think anybody could kind of see that coming, unfortunately. But then the trades with McCrary and with Brownlee, and like they're kind of left with no one. So again, Baker was a full participant, but let's just hope that he's able to go, because we might see some names we've never seen before if that's the case. And while I'm on that subject here, I'll get off on another random tangent. Did you see the post-game Jets where Brownlee asked the reporter what time it was, and they gave him the time, and he said, "Oh, good, I still have time to watch the Titans go lose"? Did you catch that?
No.
Yeah. Do some research on that. So I have been validating I haven't heard the actual audio clip, but yeah,
Man.
after the Jets post game, he asked the Jets reporter what time it was, and was like, "Oh, great, I still have time to watch the Titans go lose," which super interesting. And I think that gives you kind of a good insight to how he feels about this team and how he feels he was kind of slighted by this team, which, I can't blame the guy. But I mean, shout out to him. The Jets actually just traded their slot corner, and it looks like he's going to have that slot job at New York. So didn't work out great here in Tennessee, but we'll see how it works out there, I guess. So I just had to throw that out there. I thought that was really interesting, his thoughts on how that trade went down.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, like I said, I can't blame the dude. Don't blame the hate. That does suck, though, because he is playing well.
Yeah.
On the Chargers side, as far as illnesses go, familiar name, Hassan Haskins is on the injury report. Doesn't really mean anything except for special teams. But probably not going to play. Tony Jefferson, safety, probably not going to play. Cam Hart, cornerback, maybe. He's got an illness, so I expect to see him probably. I mean, it's 3 days from now. Surely he gets good enough to play football. But anyway, let's talk about some of the matchups, some of the god-awful matchups we've got going on here. Chargers defense versus Titans offense. Titans offense hasn't been great. If I will say, though, if we get a couple of these young guys to click all at the same time, like if Elick Iomanner, whatever, Chimere DK, and Helm all click at the same time, then we should have a pretty productive offense. So I still expect that sometime this year. But for now, we're still rookies and we're all learning. So, struggles with turnovers, consistency, it's going to be part of the game. Yep. But the Chargers defense was started off as one of the best defenses in the league. This is my point, I guess, is what I was trying to get to. Their EPA, though, over the last 3 weeks since week 5 has been dead last in the NFL. Mm-hmm. So a porous defense that's opened up all of a sudden. So I'm interested to see if the Titans can maybe take advantage of that in any way. I don't know. I still think, like we were talking about earlier, I think we still have a talented defensive coordinator. So I still feel like I don't know, man. I'm just trying to be optimistic towards the next game.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the Chargers defense, also if you're a former Titan and you don't end up on the Patriots, chances are you're going to wind up on the Chargers. Have some returning guys, Tierra Tart, Naquan Jones, Elijah Molden, Bud Dupree. So definitely going to be some familiar names coming back in. But yeah, I mean, they've struggled the last few weeks. I was actually looking at as far as the takeaways. Did you have the stat on that?
Chargers takeaways?
Yes. I was looking here. I thought they'd average pretty well because to me, if you look at the names on this, like what stands out, it's an opportunistic defense, but you can definitely get them. If you can get the run game going early, If Cam Ward can find some success across the middle, one thing I think he has been good at when he's not throwing the ball 100 miles an hour is leading his receivers and putting the ball in a good place for them to run after catch. But on the flip side, like, let's be honest, your top three receivers right now are 4th round rookie picks in DK, Iomander, and Gunnar Helm. So yeah, you're right. I mean, they do have to all click at the right time, and you've got to figure out a way to get them going early, because on the flip side, this Chargers offense, like, it's not going to be fun if you're playing from behind multiple scores after the first quarter. Like, they can find ways to move the ball downfield, to really start putting points on the board, put the pressure on you. So you've got to keep up with them is essentially how this is going to go. And it's another one of those games where, like, the Titans really haven't been able to put a lot of points on the board, but if they're going to be successful, this feels like one of those games where it might have to be a little bit of a shootout, where you've got to take your opportunities against this defense. You've got to score. You got to put points on the board. And I mean, realistically, I think if you want to have a chance this week, you've got to be somewhere around that 24, 28 points. And I haven't seen them do it yet. I don't know if they're capable of it. I don't know if they're capable of putting a full 4 quarters of good offensive football together. But that's kind of the path to success in this one, if you're asking me.
Yeah, I agree. I also think whether Chig plays or not, I think Helm should be out snapping him. He's a better pass blocker. Run blocker, maybe not. I don't think Chig is a good blocker at all, but apparently that's Helm's biggest weakness is his run blocking. I haven't paid that much attention to it, to be honest, because I've been so focused on his pass catching abilities, and route running abilities. But maybe that's something I'll have to dig into later on. But I am expecting whether he plays or not, whether Chig plays or not, that Helm out snaps him this game for the first time in the season. I feel like it's been a culmination of the last 2 weeks. It's been building. Everybody's been wanting it. We've all been talking about the youth movement, which, I have to give him credit. One of the guys that I go back and forth with on Twitter all the time said, didn't you say on your show last week that you wanted the youth movement? Didn't you want Slater to start instead of Zeitler? And now you're complaining about young cornerbacks getting time instead of old cornerbacks that you're not going to have on your team next year. And it was hard to argue with him. It was, and the only reason is because everybody hates on Roger. I like Roger McCreary personally.
I do too.
I thought he was a good cornerback. What he lacked in size, he made up for in his play. But the stuff they were bashing him on, I can't really argue with it because most of it's statistical crap, like small arms. They refer to him as T-Rex arms. I don't think they're that bad, but he is a smaller dude and he does have smaller arms. But if you look at the guy we picked up, which is Mike Robinson, I believe, from Green Bay, he's only 5'11", but he has very long arms. His reach is like 49. I don't know. I'm going to say something stupid and not be accurate, so I'm just going to stop there. I could, I guess, Google search it real quick, but I just don't do that kind of stuff during the show, so I don't care. But my point is that all the things that he lacks, Roger McCreary, it looks like this kid has. It's almost like the traits that they want to get rid of. They just traded away a much better player, but had the wrong traits. Picked up a much worse player, but had the right traits. And now he's probably going to be getting some starting snaps. And I don't know if I agree with that. But I don't know. I thought it was an interesting back and forth that we had. And it didn't really end with any kind of resolution or me thinking anything that was solved. It was just I'm still in this circle of I wish we still had McCreary, but I understand he's not in the plans for the future, so there's no reason for him to be here for these meaningless games. I don't know. I keep going back and forth. Yeah,
but I mean, I don't agree with it because to me, I don't care about your metrics. I don't care how long your arms are. Like if you show up on Sunday and you're available and you play well, like that's all I care about. And I just don't know with what you got for McCrary. I don't know that you're able to find a player that late in the draft that's going to be as good as McCrary. And I mean, I get it. He was due for a contract. The Titans didn't necessarily want to pay it. There's this ongoing trend that Borgonzi and Brinker, again, I don't know how much Borgonzi has say in this, but they want their guys. And you can see them start to push some of these dudes out. And, you know, it's like what we talked about earlier. I mean, one player left from the 2022 draft. So clearly, you know, they talk all the time about what is it they want, how many top 100 picks over the next year or two or 3 years. I mean, you know, cool.
I hate that
whatever.
quote.
Yeah, I do too. But that's what they keep pushing. So, I mean, you know, it remains to be seen. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe their vision is the right one. I just don't understand it. I just don't understand. I thought you had really good talent out of McCrary and out of Brownlee. They obviously saw something different, and we'll see what happens. But I just, for the value that they're getting for these players, I just don't know that you get
What value?
equal value in these next few drafts. So we'll see what happens, I guess.
Yeah, no, they're not getting good value out of the picks. I mean, I'll just be straight up. It's terrible value. It's awful.
Yep.
We're getting maybe some kind of depth rotational piece for somebody who was a regular starter.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
And I mean, McCrary, like he's been good since he got here. Like even his rookie, I mean, for what he's been asked to do on a defense that's been so lackluster, like I just don't understand it. I really don't. And it kind of scares me. Like you had mentioned this last week. Like if you think that's bad, like wait till you see what happens with some of the other these players. Like, I mean, I could see Ridley going for a 6th at this point. Like that's like we're living in that world. We were talking about a 1st round pick for Simmons. I mean, at this rate, you might get a 3rd. Like I don't know, man. Like it's insane. So I don't know. Like I can sit here and question these decisions all night long. But yeah, I just, whatever vision they've got, I'm just not able to see it right now.
Yeah. No, I don't blame you, man. It's a little depressing. I did want to talk about one other thing though. And that's Cam Ward and his stats. And we've talked about it. We talked about it a little bit last week, and how I don't know what's the right word to use there.
Bad.
Whether we should be hitting the panic button on Cam Ward or not. And a lot of people are already doing that and calling him a bust and terrible 1st round draft pick. Blah 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 blah. Which frustrated me. So I went digging, and actually I found quite a few, but this one I really liked because he is a freaking superstar now. And I asked you before the show, a rookie quarterback's numbers. This is a rookie quarterback's numbers who is now a superstar in the league. But his rookie numbers were 1,223 yards, 5 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, and a 66.3 passer rating. And I asked you, could you figure out who it was? Got any guesses?
I was looking through, let me pull up because I typed some of this in to remind myself. Initially, I thought Baker Mayfield, but I don't think he struggled that much. I think he actually had a pretty good rookie year.
I think it's going to blow your mind.
I'm thinking top. Has he, okay, let me ask you this. Give me one hint and I'll guess. Has he been traded or is he still with the original team that drafted him?
Original team.
He's with the original team?
Original team. And he's a superstar. One of the top 3 quarterbacks in the league.
Oof. Crap, I don't know. I'm just
Oh,
gonna throw
excuse
somebody
me.
out
I'm
there. I
sorry.
mean, was it
This isn't the entire rookie season. I'm sorry. This is the first 8 games.
okay through the
So this
first
is
8
what
games?
this is what we have of Cam Ward right now, and this is what we have of this rookie quarterback, who
And
is
he's with
now
the
a
same
superstar
team.
with the
Was
same
it?
team.
And he started immediately.
Yes, started
Okay.
immediately, first year,
Ooh. Is it
because he was an
Darnold?
overall. No,
No,
I don't know if he was an
Darnold's with a
overall or
different
not.
team.
Damn it.
Darnold's with a different team. Is it? I don't know. Oh God, man, I don't know. Is it Herbert?
No, it's not. It's not.
No, because
No.
all right, you got me. You stumped me. Hit me. Because I know golf.
It
I thought
is.
golf. I really thought golf because I know that he had that, but he's not with the same team.
He was not a first overall draft pick. I just had to look it up right now. He was the 7th overall draft pick in his draft.
Okay.
It was Josh Allen.
Really? Okay.
Josh Allen, his first 8 games, 1,223 yards. Cam has 1,600. 5 touchdowns. Cam has 5. 6 interceptions. 7 interceptions for Allen. Cam has 6.
Yeah.
And a 66.3 passer rating, which I don't have those numbers on Cam right in front of me, and it's annoying me that I don't. But 71, excuse me, 71. So through the first 8 games, Cam Ward looks way better than Josh Allen did. So everybody just needs to calm down, pump the brakes, because in my opinion, Josh Allen maybe is the best quarterback in the league, unarguably the top 3 quarterback in the league currently.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, and
All
I was
right,
looking at
so-
what he finished with. So he finished with 10 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Only played 12 games his rookie year, and then just over 50% total for that rookie season. Okay. All right. Yeah, I can see that.
And I feel like in 12 games, Cam's going to have equal or better numbers. And he's dealing with all the rookies. I mean, it's a lot. His whole passing attack is rookies. He's got Chig, I guess. Well, if Chig plays, he's got Chig, I guess. And he's got Tajay and Pollard as checkdowns. But that's it. I mean, I quoted or I posted on my social media the similarities of Drake May's first 7 games or 6 games, and people went ballistic and just were like, first of all, those aren't similar numbers, which they were, and second of all, we had a worse team. The Patriots had a worse team, and I was like, okay, whatever, sure. So they didn't like that comparison, so I found this comparison. I thought it was a little bit better. It even plays more to Cam's style, except for the fact that he doesn't run nearly as much as Josh Allen does. But same kind of attitude, same kind of quarterback, loves to throw downfield, got a chip on his shoulder. I felt like it was a good comparison. So
Yeah.
I feel like I can also say with confidence, everybody who's pushing the panic button, pump the brakes, chill out, calm down. It's fine. We're Titans and we're used to sucking. So why are y'all tripping right now? I mean, he's a rookie. Everybody's a rookie, pretty much.
Yeah, and I mean, look, it speaks a lot too that they got the right guys around Josh Allen. McDermott was hired, I think it was 2017. He came in as a defensive coach. That I think was it Dayball that's their DC right now. But they put the right guys offensively around him where they could play to his strengths. And that's something I think the Titans are missing right now is they just don't have anyone who is game planning based on Cam Ward's strengths. And I think that includes a lot of the play action. I think it includes some of the off script stuff, going no huddle, just putting him in positions where he can – I mean, you want him to process, but he's better when he has to make those quick decisions. You know what I'm saying? When he's put in a position where it's just go play that backyard football. No, it's not perfect. No, it doesn't always look pretty, but he gets the job done. So I think there should be more of that. I think that they can game plan a lot better around the things that Cam Ward is good at, and we just haven't seen that through this season. But look, I mean, you could say the same thing about Will Levis. Like, I don't feel like anybody really ever played to his strengths. So that's just something that I think the Titans have been missing for a while, is a good offensive mind. And that doesn't mean it has to be a head coach. Like, if you get a defensive-minded coach in here and he brings in the right coordinator and the right quarterbacks coach and the right people who can actually develop Cam Ward, I still think there's a lot of hope. So, I'm not ready to throw the B word out as far as him being a bust yet. I think we still have a long way to go before we see that. But I will say that, I still think there's a chance. It's a small chance, but I still think there's a chance that if they get a big name head coaching hire here and Cam Ward just isn't his guy, like, there's a chance. So I don't know. And then that leads you to think, okay, how much does this front office staff believe in Cam Ward? Like, are you going out and are you hiring a coach specifically for Cam Ward? Or are you hiring the best coach available to try to make a successful football team? And then what happens if that coach's vision doesn't include Cam Ward in it? So it's just some interesting things to think through. And that's why it makes this coaching hire that much more interesting, is it's going to kind of tell you the direction and the vision that this front office has. Like, is this hire specifically for Cam Ward? And then I think that opens the door to some names that haven't really been talked about yet. One big thing that came out just within the last week, like, there's a Texas coach out there with the last name Sarkisian who has been pretty vocal about breaking into the NFL. And, is that the best guy for the team? Probably not. Would it be an interesting type of development piece for Cam Ward? Yeah, possibly. So I don't know. It's just, I'm really curious what their thoughts are as far as who this hire is going to be and the type of traits they're looking for in a coach.
His PR people, by the way, came out and squashed that immediately and said that he was not interested in the Titans job.
Well, of course, because, I mean,
They didn't say not interested in an NFL job. Specifically the Titans.
Yeah, I mean, look, I've got my thoughts on that. You started as the top team in the country, and now you're barely within the top 20. And Arch Manning, I mean, you want to talk about bus, like,
yeah,
Arch Manning
really
not living up to what
yeah.
he was supposed to be. So yeah, I mean, kind of
interesting
that he even thinks he has the leverage to talk about picking where he wants to be at this point.
Well, yeah, let's also talk about the fact that he doesn't want to give up his play calling duties.
Yeah.
Who does that sound like? I don't like that idea.
And that's something, like, I know there's been, I kind of want to touch on that because I know there's been successful head coach play callers. I mean, there's a lot in the league right now. But ideally, I don't really want to bring in another head coach play caller. Like, I'm not at all opposed to bringing in a defensive head coach if the staff is right. But I'm kind of over this, this monopoly of I'm going to call the plays, I'm going to manage the game. I just feel like, if you're a good coach, you're able to delegate those things. You're able to bring in a good coordinator who can take that over. Like, I'm kind of over the fact I don't want my head coach calling plays, not immediately, not in the first year, especially if they've never been a head coach before. And I think that's, what kind of tricked us on Callahan, because he'd worked with all these great quarterbacks, but he never even called plays in Cincinnati. So I don't know. That's going to kind of scare me a little bit if we get another guy like that.
Yeah, I think the coaching hire is probably one of the number one topics of the offseason. It's got to be priority number one for the front staff anyway. But stick with us because we do have some positive stuff to talk about. Chimere DK, Helm, maybe even a little bit of Cedric Gray. But chill out with us for about 40 seconds. We got to give the sponsors a little love. We'll be right back.
What's up, Titans fans? Maximus Titan fan here. Are you in need of professional excavation services? Look no further. Red Zone Builders has the expertise, experience, and equipment to handle all or any excavation project, big or small. Whether you need land clearing, site preparation, trenching, foundation excavation, or any other excavation services, they have you covered. Their team of skilled professionals work diligently to ensure your project is completed safely, efficiently, and to your satisfaction. Trust the experts at Red Zone Builders to get the job done right.
Booyah. All right, so positive. Chimray DK. It's been probably one of the most bright spots over the last couple weeks. Over the last 2 weeks, he has had 11 receptions of 12 targets, 163 yards, a touchdown, 14 yard per catch average, I think somewhere around in there, and a 91% catch percentage. He catches 91% of the passes that he's got over the last 2 weeks. That's what I'm trying to say, damn it. So fantastic for him. Not only the fact of that, but he has right under 1,300 yards total, which leads the NFL in scrimmage yards. So there we go with it. Chimray DK, can he keep it up? I think so. Personally, I feel like the last 2 weeks has been the most consistent play we've seen out of the offensive passing game, other than Helm, I guess, because he has been pretty damn consistent too. But really excited about the kid. I'll be honest, I was excited about Alec Iromaner, but I have almost shifted that excitement to Chimray DK over the last, I don't know, 2 to 3 weeks. His return skills got me excited, but right off the bat, I have to say he's got some damn good wide receiver yak skills. I see a lot of yak for this kid in the future.
Yeah, one thing I'm kind of interested to see is how they use him going forward, because if he's going to become one of your primary targets for Cam Ward and he's going to be a number 2 or a slot on the offense, obviously you want to get the ball in his hands as much as possible, but interesting to see how the end of this year and next year, how they figure out how much we want to put him on special teams, how much we want to put him at receiver, because ideally you don't want your number 2 receiver returning the ball. So, but I mean, you don't have a better option. I mean, he leads the league in all-purpose yards. So it's going to be really interesting to see how they navigate that. And maybe they just say, you know, screw it. We're just going to use him on offense. We're going to use him on special teams. But now you're kind of risking injury. So I don't know. That's something that hasn't really got brought up yet and hasn't became an issue yet. But, you know, if we're sitting here at week 14, week 15, and all of a sudden he's the best receiver on the team, are we still throwing him out there for kick returns, you know?
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I'll be honest. But the only problem, or the reason that I think that we can't pull him now, is because he is leaps and bounds above everybody else
for
as
sure.
a returner.
Yeah.
So, and especially on this team, even Prochet, which had some decent returns in the preseason. Come on, man, it's preseason, but still, I think Prochet would be okay. You know, Prochet would be okay. But DK is just elite. I mean, he's just an elite returner. When he's got the ball in his hands, he sees the field. He sees the lanes that open up better than anybody else. Obviously, that's how he's gotten more long returns than anybody else in the NFL. So I think it's more than 20 plus yards or 15 plus yards. I can't remember the exact stat on that, but I'm a stat nerd. I'm sorry. I get off on numbers. But yeah, man, Chimray DK, dude, I think he's bee's knees right now.
Do you still think you need, even with Iomanor and DK, do you still think they need to get
priority? Yes.
Yeah.
Priority.
In the off season? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. They need at least one good possession receiver. If Alec Iomanor still has these drop problems by the end of the season, then we need to get a veteran or a very high draft pick possession receiver. Somebody like T-Mac or somebody can come in and catch all the passes that Alec Edelman has been throwing at. I'm not saying that it's all his fault or anything. I'm just saying his drops are starting to show up a little bit on the stat sheet, and it's not a good stat to have, especially when you got a guy like Chim who's just killing it.
I do agree with you. I'm just curious how early, like if they do address that in the draft, how early they're willing to go get a receiver when they need the help on the edge. They need the help at DB. Like it's going to be kind of interesting to see how they go about that this offseason.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see how aggressive they are because, I mean, I don't think we're on the edge or the precipice of anything like that. But
Right.
if we hit a streak towards the end of the season and these young guys actually do start to click all at the same time, hypothetically say, and let's just say we end the season with like 3 wins in a row. You start to think to yourself, well, shit, maybe we just put a couple pieces on defense and, we can maybe try to shoot out with some of these teams, next year or whatever. I'm not saying it's probable. I'm just saying it's possible.
Yeah.
At that point, you start thinking about trades and all the other stuff that you can do to get 3 or 4 premier players out of the draft. Excuse me. But I really don't think that's going to be the case. I think we're in a full rebuild, remodel. So I think we're looking for more depth and stuff like that. That's why we're stocking up on 5th and 6th round draft picks.
Yeah, I guess.
That and the fact that we're just not going to get anything else because we are the desperate. We're the kids out here with nothing but Tootsie Rolls and apples.
Yep.
And everybody else has got Snickers bars full size.
Good reference. Happy Halloween, by the way.
Yeah, and we're just like, damn it, man. I would love to have a Snickers bar right now, but these Tootsie Rolls and apples are going to have to do it.
Yeah.
That's all we got is Tootsie Rolls and apples. Damn it. Anyway, another bright spot that's been great for us the last few weeks has been Gunnar Helm. We've talked about it on and off already, the show, but he's gotten more snaps and productions over the last 2 weeks. Got his first touchdown last week. It took a little longer than I thought, but I honestly believe this is the week where whether Chig plays or not, damn it. I had this thought yesterday, so I feel almost like robbed by the fact that he showed up on the injury report this week or today, because it's freaking annoying to me because it's like, damn it, I already knew that this was the precipice week anyway. But anyway, I think Helm will take over snaps. He'll out-snap him, finally take the number 1 spot away from Chig. And I don't think Chig ever gets it back in the season. And there's some people that are really firing back at me hard with that, especially with Chig's numbers over the last 2 weeks. But I still feel like Chig is non-consistent at best. And I think that Helm is quite opposite of that. So I don't know. I'm really excited to see that transition happen.
Yeah, the Chig thing's interesting because like his yards after catch are kind of insane. Like it just jumps off the page at 175. And I think when it comes to the big plays, he's sitting there with 3. But I mean, Gunnar Helm, he's not like a one-trick pony. Like Gunnar Helm can pretty much do everything. And I think he was a complete steal in this last draft. And I don't know if I'm ready to say he comes in and takes over the job permanently this season, but I think it starts to trend that way. And then going into next year, like especially if he has any type of a jump, I just think he has the opportunity to be really successful for the Titans. I think that, we may look at this dude 5-6 years down the road as one of the better tight ends to come through Tennessee. And that's going up against some pretty big names that have come through. So, I think he has that opportunity. And with the Chig injury, it's just going to make it that much more likely. So I'm with you there. I think he steps up. I think he does have a good rest of the season, even if he is still split reps with Chig later on. He just continues to show up and do his job, and you can't ask for much more.
I'll be honest with you. Unless Chig is injured and can't be traded, I will be absolutely shocked
Mm.
if Chig is on this team in next week. I will be
Yeah,
absolutely shocked.
normally I would agree with you, but if you look around at the trade block, there's a lot of tight ends up for grabs right now. And, I know Ajuku's one of them. You got some other guys that are out there. If it weren't such a tight end heavy available market, I would be more inclined to think that Chig would get moved. I just think a lot of teams look at the Titans and say, why am I going to give up a 4th round for this guy now when he's probably available next year anyway, and I can get him for free,
Yeah, but my shot back to that would be how many of those tight ends that are available are explosive play tight ends?
Yeah,
you might have
that's
some
fair.
Ajukus out there, some guys that would be serviceable, but not serviceable in the pass game. They'd be serviceable in the blocking game, maybe, supplemental in the passing game because nobody's blocking them because
Yeah.
they're, you know. But Chig can actually get, like you said, he's a yak guy. He's explosive. And, I think a lot of teams look at players and think, well, they're just not using him right. If you put him in a different system, my system, and then it'll work better. And I think a lot of coaches look at things that way. So I'll be pretty shocked if Chig's on this team next week if he's not,
So what are you taking for Chig right now? If somebody calls you with a 6th, you giving him up for
No,
a 6th?
I think we'll
Would
get
I
a
have to be a
5th.
5th? Okay.
I think we'll get a 5th.
If a 6th is on the
personally,
table, are you keeping him?
it's a toughie. I mean, for me personally, because I just don't. I mean, over the years, that's the thing, man. You got to
Yeah.
look at over the years, and he has the same tendencies. He comes on strong for 4 or 5 games, gets injured, goes off for 3 or 4 games, then comes on really strong at the end of the season.
Yep.
Last 3 or 4 games, pads the numbers like crazy, and he's done this consistently 3 years in a row. So that's the only consistent thing about Chig for me is he's inconsistent. So I don't know if I get a 6, a high 6, like they said about like they said about the Roger McCreary pick. Oh, it's a high 6. It's at the front of the or there's a high 5th, whatever.
Yes.
Condition, whatever it was, doesn't matter. The point is, yes, I think if you can, I don't know, man, that's rough. That's a rough go.
I mean, I'd love a 5th. I just don't think the Titans are in any type of position to leverage any of these teams.
Oh yeah,
I mean, I think if a 6 is on the table, that might be the best your offer is. And at that point, you've got Helm sitting there. You just worry past Gunnar Helm. If you trade Chig for a 6th and you've got Gunnar Helm taking 90% of the snaps, like what does your depth pieces look like? I mean, you've got like DMR. I mean, you've got dudes that are serviceable.
And then you go get a Joku.
Yeah. Okay. You've got guys that are serviceable. I just worry about that.
I mean,
because I don't think there's any position you can look at on this Titans team and say they're deep. You know what I mean?
No, but you look at our cornerback position right now. None of those guys are starters. None of them.
No.
But they're serviceable. I mean, they're going to go out there. They're going to have a couple plays. I really feel like Marcus Harris. I don't know that much about Micah Robinson yet, but I think that Marcus Harris and Kevin Winston will both go out and make good plays. I also think that they'll make bonehead rookie plays because they are rookies and they just haven't had much exposure to NFL play yet. Plus, they didn't play on super huge programs. I mean, I guess Penn State and Penn State and Cal are big
They're
enough.
fine.
Whatever. It's not like they were playing at Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State. One of the big time colleges. But I still feel like I said, they're gonna get their moments, and then they're gonna look terrible at moments because they're so young. And honestly, that's what we need to be doing. We need to be starting all these young guys and seeing what they got because our season is over. It was over last week. We might as well see what we got in the young guys, get our roster evaluation in check, see what we need, where our biggest holes are, so that we can move forward from this freaking disaster.
Well, and I'll
we'll
say
be
you brought
looking
it.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry. Well, I just said you brought up the young DBs, and I agree with you there, but it's not always about big schools because you got Jalen Armour Davis who played at Bama, and that dude sucks. So
True.
I just had to throw that out there. I was just thinking about how bad he is when you mentioned that, and I was like, oh yeah, he played at Bama. But go on, continue. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I mean you're right. You're absolutely right. But I don't know. I don't know. Let's try to move on. Cedric Gray
Yeah.
played out of his mind for like 4 weeks in a row, and then looked quite like a second-year player, maybe even a rookie last game. I don't know if that was offensive blocking scheme or what, man. I'll be honest. I haven't looked as much tape as I should this year. If I'm being real, I haven't looked at half as much tape as I normally do because it's hard, man. I'll be real. I was gonna say, dude, it's hard enough to watch this crap once, but to watch it twice or 3 or 4 times over and over and over again, trying to analyze what these idiots are doing wrong.
Yep.
I mean, and it's so hard to analyze because, like you're talking about, the coaching staff is terrible. The training staff, from what I understand, is terrible. So we've got terrible training and terrible conditioning, and we've got terrible coaching. So what the hell are we actually evaluating other than raw, pure talent? And that's what we should be doing. Evaluating our raw, pure talent of what we have in our young guys so that we can see where we need to move next year. And that's pretty much it.
Yep.
Like I said, Cedric Gray, I'm sorry I got off on a way tangent there, but Cedric Gray, sucked it up in the last, well, he didn't suck. He just looked like Cody Barton, which sucks. But yeah, I think honestly, Gray will get right back into the mix of things. I think Indianapolis is one of those teams that is a great running scheme team, and I think that he got pushed around a little bit.
Yeah, Indianapolis has made a lot of players look bad this year on teams they played. So it doesn't really concern me, a one-off situation like this. He's still been successful as a whole on the season. He's been, honestly, one of the only bright spots on this defense to this point. I think he's going to be just fine. I'm more concerned about who they pair him with next year at this point. Like, I think that Cody Barton has struggled kind of the way I would have expected Cedric Gray to struggle. Like that script's kind of been flipped a little bit. And like, I'll kind of tie this into the game coming up. Like, the Chargers, as good as they are on offense, I mean, Herbert's given up 7 interceptions. You have 5 receivers on this team who has fumbled the ball at one point in this season. So this needs to be a very opportunistic defense. You've got to take advantage when the ball's in the air. I don't know that your DBs are able to do that, but from a linebacker's perspective, like, that's what you're kind of looking for. If Cedric Gray or Barton can undercut some of these routes the way that we saw early on in training camp, I think that's where they can find a little bit of success. So that linebacker position, I think, is going to be huge this week, more so than any of the other previous weeks. You've got to find a way for them to step up, because when you are this bad on the back end, that's kind of your next point, is going to be pass rush and linebacker. That's where you have to be successful.
Well, hopefully Barton can do something other than just look lost. Score predictions. Let's wrap this thing up. Do you have any other last thoughts you want to throw out there? No.
Yeah, we'll get right into score predictions. It kind of feels week to week like it's wash, rinse, repeat. So, yeah, let's just jump right into it.
All right. Well, I'm going to go first. And I don't know if I'm just dreaming or what. I just have a weird – I do. I have a weird feeling. Yeah, I have a weird feeling about this game. I don't think we're going to win. So don't – yeah, I was going to say, don't give me too much damn credit there as being the optimistic Titans fan. But I do think that this is the week when things start to click just a little bit better. I think we're actually starting to see marginal improvement from week to week. I'm just, I guess, being hopeful. But anyway, 24-27. Chargers win, but I think it'll be relatively interesting in the fourth quarter.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. For me, like, this team averages less than 14 points a game and gives up 28. So obviously not great there.
Yeah.
I do agree with you to the extent that I think they find a little bit more success on offense. I think we see little strides here and there from Cam Ward. Along with some of the bad habits, we still see him kind of coming into his own a little bit. I don't know. Chargers average 24, Titans average 13. I just think this is another one of those weeks where it's like a close first quarter and then they pull away. So for me, unfortunately, I think we're sitting somewhere around like 35-13. Yeah. Well, and look, the sad part is I've actually been pretty good with my score predictions.
Yeah.
Although they've been terrible for the Titans, like I've been pretty close.
Accurate.
So yeah, I mean, I think that one touchdown is probably a decent Cam Ward throw. Again, I think coming out of the first quarter, maybe even going into halftime, it stays pretty close. But when you're the Titans and you just lack so much depth on defense and you're asking guys to play so many snaps consistently, it just wears on you. And we see that late in the third quarter and late in the fourth. So although they keep it close for most of the game, I think the Chargers pull away. So yeah, 35-13 is kind of where I see this one.
All right, man. Well, I'm obviously more optimistic than you are, but that's all right. That's good though that we have two different views. Thank you. If you've stuck with us this long, we appreciate it, especially through the season. If you're one of our weekly guys, we really appreciate you guys.
Yep.
But everybody else, we appreciate you tuning in. Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Have a safe Halloween.
Hell
enjoy yourself with your kids. Enjoy your kids having Halloween while it's still happening.
Yeah.
My daughter is getting to the age now to where I think that, I might have maybe 2 more years. Maybe.
Yeah.
So, and I'm finding out way too late that you got to take advantage of the years that you got while you got them.
Yeah.
Because once they grow up, they never go back. So,
and we're on two different ends. This is my first Halloween as a dad. I've got a 9-month-old. He is Humpty Dumpty this year. His first Halloween.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, like you said, enjoy the moments. And, I know this is a football show, and I promise the football aspect is going to get better. Yep. We're in a rough spot right now as Titans fans, but just to echo what you said, we appreciate you guys sticking through with us. And hey, if you're not here now, don't be here when we're having those 13-4, 14-3 seasons. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
It's going to get better. They can't stay down forever. Eventually something has to start clicking, and who knows, maybe this is the week. So stay tuned with us, and we'll bring you all the content we can and continue to do it for free. The show's for you guys.
There you go, man. Thank you. And again, thank you guys. Tighten up.
Tighten up.
Peace out.
Peace out.